Future me is gonna forget to mention this, but I was gonna make a climb the steps and ring that bell joke about the foot soldiers. Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to Dawson Rider Nights! Oddly enough, like a year ago when we got the Gozyuger trailer and stuff, I tried to do some night lighting because I wanted to get the video up fast. And it took me a whole year to try to experiment some more since I have some bias lighting in my living room now. So let me know if this is in the right direction. I know I still have to, make progress with this, but this isn't what you're here for. But just let me know if you think this looks good and is the right way that I could start filming nighttime videos. But also, just for note, I can do this and tell a scary story. Anyway, people are like, I want to hear the Gozyuger stuff. Who the hell is this guy? Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is actually the changer voice. They did a little henshin sequence on stage. I have a little clip to play for you, and I just want to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about the character descriptions, and then I'm going to talk about the trailer. And with some of the villains, I just want to note, as of right now, there's no subbed trailer, so I might put the wrong picture up. I'm just going based off of the description and trying to fit that like I'm doing some amateur detective work. But anyway, let's talk about the changer voice. So they did play the changer voice, and I'll play the clip for you right now.
Clap your hands!
So as you can see, we're in for another crackhead Oompa Loompa voice. I'll be honest, I'm disappointed in that aspect. It feels very similar to Boom Boonger's, very similar to Gokaiger's. Zenkaiger had the annoying one too. I guess the point is, I hate that type of voice, and they all kind of bleed together, literally, because my ears bleed every time I hear them. So, I don't know. I was hoping for a cooler voice. But I will say, I really like the music they use. The hand clap bit, that's clearly a reference to the 2017 Power Rangers movie when they used hand clap, which is a reference to referencing references. No, I don't think it's a reference. I just want to be clear I was being, it's a joke, because most people, not most people, but some people in the community would think, oh, it was a reference. It was not. And they probably wouldn't think it. Anyway, I'm rambling. I really like the music. I like the music in it. It reminds me very much of, actually, for whatever reason, the second part reminds me of the gym battle music in Pokemon Gen 8, Gen 9, so I really do dig that. So, let's talk about some characters. I'm going to pull up my phone here, so I'm going to try to put up some pictures so you'll have something to look at while I'm looking down. That sounded, but you know what I mean, because if I pull up the computer, it's just going to be more light, and there's already an alien light in the corner. Alright, Goju Wolf, Tono Horu? I might get the names wrong, delivery's all wrong, I'm butchering it. Tono is a strong man with a good heart, but also unsociable and foul-mouthed, which causes him to bounce between jobs. When his spirit is high, he has a tendency to howl, so that will probably be annoying. However, I will say, spoilers for when I talk about the trailer, which I'll start talking about it a little bit right now, but from the looks of him, he looks kind of similar to Taya. I don't think he's going to be the same character, but he doesn't seem like a weirdo dork twerp. He seems like he could actually be kind of cool, but probably have some light moments. So I'm really happy about that. Who knows? I could end up eating crow, and this dude could be the absolute worst. The howling thing already worries me. I didn't even remember that from when I first read these. But I like the idea of us having just two pretty normal guys for our last two reads. Alright, so now we have Goju Leon, Riko Kuyakuya. That's probably also butchering it. He's a constant people pleaser and strategist. In the past, he was a famous idol, and an untold incident forced him to leave. It's funny because I'm like, wait, what do you mean people pleaser? He looks like he's going to be an idol or a charming type guy, so you can kind of tell that from the trailer. Alright, Goju Turano, Ryugi Bakugami. He is physically strong, but naive, who worships the ancient power of the Tega Sword, even at the cost of being an outcast from his family. This dude straight up walked in from a rider show. 5 minutes ago, he was making an evil driver for somebody. I swear, he 100% looks like the stereotype evil scientist character. I'm like, are you George's brother from Revice? Goju Eagle, Kenjiro Takahara. Kenjiro is a high school student with a very serious nature who wants to become more relaxed and enjoy partying. He doesn't look like it. I guess that's the point. He too is estranged from his family, so that's going to be probably a found family theme there. Close enough. You're not welcome back, Hotro. He does kind of look like Hotro to me. I think it's just the haircut. It triggered me a little bit. I had some emotions. Goju Unicorn, Sumino Ichikawa? I've heard it both ways. I said it the same way. Sumino was a police academy candidate, but was outcast by her fellow cadets and forced to leave, so she now works as a private detective, unafraid to use her charms as weapons when necessary. Off the top of my head, I don't recall anything from the trailer that indicated that, because honestly, it just looked like the most generic girl Sentai performance so far, but that's actually really interesting. I don't know how you get ousted by your cadets, fellow cadets. They're just we don't like you, and then she stormed out crying. I don't know. Also, credit to Toku Nation for these translations and descriptions. I almost forgot to mention that, because you can probably tell I'm reading that word for word if you are watch that site. Anyway, so then we have Tega Sword, who's actually going to be voiced by somebody, so kind of like a Boom Boom situation. So uniting the 5 stars of the mighty Tega Sword, voiced by Yuki Kaiji, who I think I saw somebody said was the voice of Gown from Hospital Gown? No, from Zenkaiger, I think. I don't know. I don't know any of these voice actors at all. In the past, Tega Sword ended a tremendous calamity between Super Sentai robots, but at the cost of splitting his powers into Sentai rings, which have scattered across the universe. Sentai rings are attracted to those with strong wishes, or educated wishes, that was an ad-lib, which will lead to the battle for the rings to determine who is truly number one. It's Kakarot, because he said, "You're better than me, Kakarot. You are number one." I liked "You're better than me, Kakarot. You are the best." I think that sounds more natural, but this isn't about Dragon Ball translations. It's interesting. There is a shot in the trailer, which I'll probably come back to again, of him standing over all the Sentai Robos. Somebody put up a side-by-side to some sort of anime that it probably clearly is a reference to because it looks identical. But to me, it just gave me Omagio vibes. Just that kind of vibe of like the new anniversary character standing above the quote-unquote graves of the other ones. This makes me curious because it's like the Sentai Robos. I presume it was a war between the Sentai because, you know, we have some past quote-unquote heroes getting involved here, which we'll talk about in a minute, and not just their sentient robos? Like, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, the mysterious villain group is called Brayden. It's a douchebag from a frat. I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but for the sake of this joke. Will attack Earth as part of a plot to awaken Tega Sword for themselves. Leading the Brayden group is a unique fusion monster of Mr. Shining Knife and Mrs. Sweetcake. I'm like 99% sure future me will get the right picture for this because I remember seeing this. I felt like I remember seeing something about them being husband and wife, which maybe that's, I don't know. We have the undefeated Special Attack Force user Fire Candle. I have one in mind for this, and it might not even be him, but he looks like a Fire Candle, so that's the picture future me is going to put up. And we'll probably both lose on this one. He'll lead the main assault against the Gozyugers. Fire Candle is a passionate fanatic, maintaining an unusual friendship with Goju Wolf. That's interesting. So maybe it's kind of like they're in competition for this whole number one thing, but they have sort of a friendship? I don't know what that means, or if that's translated weird. I don't know, but that does sound interesting to me. Future Dawson here, and just so you know, the future is the same as now, but there's a couple characters I kind of forgot about and all the excitement. One of them, not a villain, is a character named Noriko, who's going to be the caretaker of a house they live at. She was in the trailer, and I meant to mention it, but I kind of got excited by all the more exciting things. I mean, no offense to her. Another character named Bouquet. The information I found here that I'm looking at right now just says she's super cute and polite, but there was also something about her being one of the villain ambassadors. I mean, she looks like a villain, or like she serves ice cream. I don't know. And then this other character named Kuruma, who's a president of an AI company, so he's the enemy of humanity, and he's a key figure in the story and has a history with Hoiru? I don't remember who that is. I saw another post about him just saying he was a mystery character that, well, was mysterious. I think that's all, and if I forgot anybody else, I'll talk about him in future videos, because I want to go watch a new episode of Severance, because I haven't yet. This is something that doesn't interest me too much, but the opening theme is sung by Gretchen Wieners. No, I'm just kidding. The opening theme is going to be sung by somebody called the band. Is it the Wieners? Is it the Wieners? I feel like I don't see the word Wieners a lot, so I don't know. Gretchen Wieners was right all along. Anyway. So, that's our details. The trailer's honestly pretty basic. Like, you just obviously get shots of the suits in action, which look great. You know, individual little profiles on all the characters, showing them, like I said, you can kind of glean some of the stuff you see from the descriptions from there. Like I said, red seems like he's going to be even-keeled. Like, he doesn't seem like a twerp. Blue seems like exactly like it sounds. Yellow, honestly, yellow, in addition to remind me of Hotaro, reminds me of, I don't remember what the name of the Yellow Ranger and Die Ranger was, but it reminds me of him because the only thing I remember about his character is he always dressed snazzy. So yeah, you just kind of get a general look at the characters. I probably will have already flashed over some images when I talked about their characters. I think the villain designs look really good. I think we've had a pretty good stretch of villain designs. Like the Boom Booger ones, they recycled some, but they had some pretty solid ones. But I really like the looks of the villain designs so far. They talk about at the end, they do this kind of little snapshot thingy of like the versus tournament, and they're like versus and robos, versus monsters, and then versus like Sentai. And so you have two legacy Sentai elements in this. One is like obviously returning Reds, and they're wearing a silver version of the Tega Sword. So that's really interesting. I'm curious about that because at first I was like, wait, because it happened so fast in the trailer. I'm like, are they doing Gokai changes again? Which I think they are in a way, but I don't think this is the Gokai change because then we see Red fighting what I believe was Don Momotaro. So I'm curious how this works. All I remember from that old plot synopsis we got, like I didn't see anything about this yet. It's possible more information comes out after I've recorded this as per usual. But I didn't see any information clarifying the past Sentai heroes' roles beyond, I did a video a while back when they released the official synopsis and it said like other Sentai Reds will get involved as like fellow competitors in this fight for number one. But I'm curious, like, will it be, it looks like soulless suits right now, but is it going to be like a weird Dien summon, like as a villain or a competitor just going to summon like a shell? Or is this going to be a voiceover situation? No voiceover, but it's meant to be the character. Will we actually see the actors? I don't know. We'll have to see. There is a quick shot of, looks like their version of a Gokai change, which shows Blue transforming into Boon Red, which he has the armor on it, which is kind of neat. Because at first when they were like, oh, we're doing the Gokai changes, my eyes rolled so hard they popped out of my skull. I don't even know how that works. But then I saw the hybrid one. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I still wish we weren't doing that. Like, only because I felt like the past heroes being in it as these sort of competitors was kind of their unique thing. Like, Gokaiger had the changes, Zenkaiger had the designs incorporated, and then this was kind of their thing, and I feel like the Gokai changes feels redundant. It is kind of neat they're incorporating some of the armor. That's kind of cool. I just wish we hadn't done it in Dawn Brothers. It was so dumb. Everything about this would be more exciting if Dawn Brothers through present had zero stupid legacy content. Anyway, I did make a video that I hope to come out this week where my intention is to purge all of my ranting about Toku's dumb anniversary stuff so that I can just go into this more optimistic and just enjoy it. Just a couple other shots to talk about. There was a shot of like the rings firing off. I'm gonna assume that's from the flashback when he was separated into rings. There's some good shots of the mecha, a really cool one of Red's mode. Like, it looks really good in live action, and in particular like this shadow shot looks really good. Just in general, I think the mecha looked good in action, and it looks like just the level of stunts and stuff is gonna feel similar to Boom Boonjer, where it feels dynamic but it's also practical, which I really like. Like I said, we have that shot of him above all the Sentai Robos, which is rather interesting. I'm curious what that's gonna be about. And just from the description, it talks about it being with the Robos, but I can't imagine it's going to be some weird thing where all the Robos were somehow sentient. I'm going to imagine it was the Sentai. Who knows how? I don't think they're really thinking about this. I don't think they have a series Bible. Like, compared to, like, you know, other series have like a series Bible where they're like, how does this all fit together? I think their series Bible is Cheese Whiz. But I am really curious how they're going to try to fit this into the overall big story of Sentai. You know what I mean? Just like the mythology of, because they're in the same universe 1 second, not the next. It's like, that's going to be part of the rant. Yeah, that is all we have for now. You know, I'm still excited for this series, to be sure. I really like the main designs. I'm liking a lot of the designs of the mecha and stuff. I'm still wary of the anniversary elements, but I have to admit, this whole like versus tournament thing with the different villain factions and then the Rangers and then obviously the returning Rangers, I am excited about that because I think it could lead to a unique structure. You know, I was disappointed that we talked about going back to basics with Boom Boonjer. To be fair, I think Boom Boonjer did have enough unique stuff in it. Not as unique as King Oger, but it didn't feel as back to basics as something like Gotchard was for Rider. But my point is, long-winded point, is I was disappointed by the idea of us going back to basics after a couple of pretty solid experimental years that not just experimented with design, but with format. And, you know, Boom Boonjer kind of eventually slid into being more kind of by the numbers in a lot of ways. So I am excited by a little bit of a format change. So yeah. Also, like, I almost completely forgot about this before I signed off. There's going to be an episode 0 on February 2nd. I am actually very excited by that, not just because we get an early taste of it, but the last time they did that was for Kara Major, and I loved that because I'm not sure what the episode 0 is going to be like. Maybe it's going to be nothing like that. But I like what they did with Kara Major because it made it feel like when you watched episode 0 and then episode 1, it felt like a regular two-parter, and it just helped me get into the series more because 99% of the time Sentai Rider pilots are rushed, which I understand they probably do it because they have to get whatever toys are on the shelves on screen, but it always frustrates me because they have so many episodes and they could do so many kick-ass two-part openers, because I think two-part openers are kind of the best because they just kind of make you feel like you get your feet into the series and you're just really into that world. So I am excited by that. So yeah. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think of all the new characters and the details and the trailer in the comments. What do you think of the Changer voice? Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.